Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Luis and in this video we are going to unbox and review this video game console with a double wireless controller that contains more than 20,000 games. Okay, so you can buy these with a micro SD card of 64 gigabytes, or there is a cheaper version with it's the same console with a smaller size micro SD card with only 32 gigabytes full of retro games for TV. Okay, so let's do the unboxing. And so it comes, the remote came already paired. And just to say that I try to plug different controllers from PlayStation 3, didn't work. Another controllers that I have here with the USB, none of the controllers worked. Okay, and besides that, let me talk about the emulators inside this retro machine. So we will find MAME, multi-arcade machine emulator. We will find FC, Famicom Nintendo Entertainment System. We will find GB, which stands for Game Boy, and Game Boy Advance, which is an advanced version of Game Boy. GBC, which stands for Game Boy Color. MD, Sega Genesis Mega Drive. SFC, Super Famicom Super Nintendo Entertainment System. PS1, PlayStation 1, and Atari. Okay, so plenty of emulators ready, plug and play, and it works amazing. Okay, so I was not expecting. So there are lots of emulators that you can download from the internet, and then you have to install on a USB drive and then configure everything on your computer. And sometimes you need to lose a lot of time configuring everything, putting the ROMs inside, blah blah blah, to get it working 100%. This one is plug and play. You put it on your TV, stick it in, you put the power cable with a brick from a smartphone, an adapter, or if your TV has a USB port, probably it will power this unit. You have to try, and then you just turn on the remote control and it will be ready to go. So this is the version 6 segam M8. That's the one I got. I read a little bit on the web, and there are other versions, and this one doesn't have an option. On the top left, you see we have list, class, history, collect, and search, and there is no options to put your ROMs inside and then add ROMs to your list. Okay, so here you can see all the available emulators that comes pre-installed, and every time you go down, you are seeing 10 different games on the left, but on the right, I will show you it right away. Every time you move your joystick to the right, it moves 10 games ahead, and you will see we have 20,000 games. You can do also search by name, and just to say that 20,000 games, but then you have like 12 versions of the same game. Sometimes it's the same game with a different name, okay? But they all work. So all the games that I tried, they all work. Some are in Chinese, so it's difficult to proceed in the game, but you have plenty of games to choose, okay? So in the settings, we can change the language. So if you don't speak English, you want to change it to Spanish, Italian, German, Portuguese, whatever you want. Okay, we can also change the buttons in the joystick. So if you find the game that it's not well configured, you can make some changes, and you cannot mute the music that it is always playing unless you go inside the SD card and you delete the MP3 with the music, okay, or you replace it with another one with the same name. About the gaming, as you can see, it's really, really nice. So probably I have some here that is playing 2 times speed. Otherwise, I cannot show you everything, and the video would be so long and boring. Okay, so this is it to give you an overview. Is it worth it to buy this stick, this HDMI stick? Yeah. About the price, it's around 20 euros. So it's a real bargain, and I'm really happy to buy to have bought this console because I can take it anywhere. So imagine you go somewhere and you will be stuck in hotel room, and you can stick it in the HDMI, and then you are ready to go, and you can waste some time killing wasting spaceships or killing other creatures. It works amazing. Okay, you can also change the resolution. So this one is adapted to a wider screen, but you can put it square. So if you have an old CRT TV and you want to play it on square mode, yeah, on the settings you can change that. I'm not doing it in the video. Now I'm giving you an overview of the games that come in my version. Remember that I bought the 64 gigas version. The difference of price was minimum. So um, 20 euros for a 64 gigabyte loaded of ROMs. It's again a real bargain, and you get some masterpieces like R-Type, which is really, really fun to play. Okay, so I'm showing you different games. I'm not going directly to one emulator or the other. I'm just selecting games, but I will show you also for the PlayStation 1, and it works really well. So the problem here is that you have so many games and you don't know which one to play. Okay, and so it has the ability to save. So if you want, some games have the ability to save, so it saves on the memory card. And I will suggest you, as soon as you buy this, you should do a backup of your memory card, because if you somehow mess up with the memory card, the, the console will not boot again. Okay, so there are some backups online, but probably then if you don't know the version of your console, probably you will download 32 gigs of data, and then it will not boot because it's not the correct version. So first thing to do is to make a backup of your SD card. Okay, create an image on your external disk drive somewhere in your house, and ta-da. Okay, you can also make a backup to external disk drive, and then make a clone of your SD card. That's what I've done. So I have created the backup on a better branded micro SD card, because I don't know the quality that comes from China with this. Probably they send the cheapest one available. So I highly recommend you that you should make a backup of your SD card. Okay, and then and then you can try to put your ROMs on the card, discover, make some changes without fearing to mess up with your card, and be unable to boot and play again with your console. Okay, so let me remind you again about the console. So we have MAME. MAME is an emulator that allows you to play arcade games from the past. It emulates the hardware of various arcade machines, enabling you to experience classic titles like Pac-Man, Street Fighter, and Donkey Kong. FC, Famicom Nintendo Entertainment System. The FC, also known as NES, Nintendo Entertainment System, revolutionizing home gaming in the 1980s. It introduced iconic games like Super Mario Bros., The Legend of Zelda, and Metroid. Game Boy. The Game Boy, released by Nintendo, was the first successful handheld gaming console. It is monochromatic. Screen brought us classics like Pokemon, Red Blue, Tetris, and The Legend of Zelda, like Link's Awakening. GBA, Game Boy Advance. The GBA was the successor to the Game Boy. It featured a color screen and more advanced hardware. Games like Advanced Wars, Fire Emblem, and Castlevania Aria of Sorrow graced this handheld. GBC, Game Boy Color. The Game Boy Color was an enhanced version of the original Game Boy. It had color to the gaming experience and hosted titles like Pokemon Crystal, The Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Ages, and Wario Land 2. MD, Sega Genesis, Mega Drive. The Sega Genesis, known as Mega Drive outside North America, was Sega's flagship console. Sonic the Hedgehog, Streets of Rage, and Phantasy Star 4. Okay, so we are now looking inside the micro SD card. This is the structure of the files. So you don't see folders with names, easy to put some ROMs and to be recognized by the emulators. So I will keep an eye on the web to see if somebody discovered how to create your own memory card with your favorite games. And yeah, that's it. Okay, so I will open now the console just to show you inside how it looks. And just quickly, just to complete, so again, PlayStation 1, Sony PlayStation 1, Atari, the Atari 2600, released in the 70s, was one of the earliest home gaming consoles. Okay, so here you see this is what is inside the plastic. And how can we imagine that a so small card could produce such a good emulator like this? So I'm really happy with this. I hope you are really happy with the video. If you are, just drop a like, it means a lot. Okay, I will leave the link if you want to purchase this, the one I bought from AliExpress. I will leave it in the video description. And if you have any question, just write a comment below. And if you don't follow my channel, consider to subscribe. I'm always putting videos. I have another retro gaming to review, and here is the price. So 21 euros and 77. You see, you have the two options, 32 and 64 gigabytes. I have the bigger one with 20,000 games, and works amazing. I'm really happy with this. This is a perfect gift for a friend from the 80s, or for a kid right now, because You will be able to play the games people in the 80s were used to play, and put coins and play through the night with friends. Okay, so I hope you really liked the video, and I catch you on a new one. Thank you very much, and bye bye.